40 hours and you can't tell me what you do. Don't give me that English is not my first language.
They all want to increase their sales.
We've been talking now for 20 minutes. I have no idea what that is. Like, you got to be specific.
I solve their funnel problems.
You work with bullshit coaches. This is why you're only making $22,000 per month. In like one sentence, what do you do for your clients?
I help them to set up a funnel system.
If I say to you, hey, Orlando, I'm interested, explain to me what you do. And your response is, hey, I help you set up a funnel system. How persuasive do you think that is?
I hear you.
Like, that's terrible pitch.
Yeah. What I do is I solve their funnel problems. So I work with experts, mostly. Experts with a proven expertise.
You work with bullshit coaches.
Yes, that's it.
Which is the worst people. No, it's the worst people to serve. And I'll tell you why. It's because at any moment, they can change their business model. If you work for a hair salon, if you work for a doctor, like let's just say it's a plastic surgeon. The plastic surgeon isn't going to wake up one day because he had a bad day and go, you know what? I'm not going to be a plastic surgeon anymore. I think I'm going to be a dancer. Like nobody does that, right? No plastic surgeon will do that. However, a coach one day can wake up just because they had a bad day or a bad week at sales, and they can completely change their offer, completely change their business model, audience, market, whatever. And now the people that serve them, like you, are stuck in this ball of chaos. So my first recommendation is do not sell to coaches, because you're automatically putting yourself in a volatile market, and it's a market that's very saturated. Why do that? Why not serve a hyper-specific type of business that doesn't know any of this stuff? You also have to think about market awareness, right? Like most coaches are very aware of online marketing, which means they're very aware of AI and funnels and all this. If you go into a market where they don't know this stuff, lawyers, doctors, professional services, now you're in a position where they don't really have any like knowledge of this that's clogging up their brain. So when you say, hey, I can build you an AI funnel or whatever it is, well, now it seems fresh and new to them. Now it seems amazing to them. But if you're going to somebody who's read 50,000 Russell Brunson books, then they're like, but wait a minute, what about my unique character on whatever? And it just makes it more complicated. Does that make sense?
I hear you. Yes.
Yeah. So you're already going to try to expand in the English market. Why not choose a market, an audience that just makes your life easier and doesn't give you stress?
Makes sense.
That would be my first strategic decision. Okay. Let me take a look at your website. Okay. This is translated from Dutch to English. So I imagine you would make it like this for English. Stuck in your current business model, escape, transform, and build your first 100K funnel fast with AI. Okay. So just right off the bat, let's take a look at this headline. I am very confused here because you just told me that you work with people who are coaches who are already at $10,000 to $20,000 a month.
Most of the clients, like 60%, they make at least 100K per month, at least.
Okay, 100K per month, right? That's even worse.
Yeah.
So you want to work with coaches that make 100K per month. And what is the problem you solve for them?
They have issues with their ads. They have issues with their funnels. It doesn't convert anymore.
Okay, right off the bat, that's a problem. This is why you're only making $22,000 per month. You didn't just give me a defined problem. You kind of just said, they're like marketing stuff, right? You didn't say, hey, their ads are not converting, I help them convert. Hey, their follow-up isn't bringing them customers, I create custom AI follow-up. So every single client gets a unique follow-up sequence based on whatever. Like, you're not giving me a specific problem, right? And then over here, look at your page. You're saying that you want to attract coaches that make 100 grand per month. Good luck. And it says, stuck in your current business model, escape, transform, and build your first. You're talking to a completely different audience, because if you're making 100K per month, that's $1.2 million per year. Nobody's going to, in that market, is going to be like, oh, my first 100K funnel. They already have a 100K funnel. They have a $1.2 million funnel. So you're completely attracting the wrong audience here. Now, you've told me that most of your clients you got through networking, not through pages like this, right?
No. Not at all.
Exactly, because this is talking to somebody who's never built a funnel.
Just to give you some context is that, so the referrals and people that I get are coming from my network, but the funnel that I was setting up was completely for people that they already have started their business, but they're looking for their first 100K. That's what I set up.
If I'm confused and I'm a world-class marketer, imagine how confused your customers are going to be, because I'm super confused. Who do you help? What problem do you help them solve? And how do you help them do it? We've been talking now for what, 20 minutes? I have no idea what that is. If you can't say, hey, look, person, problem, process. Here's the person I help. Here's the problem I help them solve. And here's the process in which I help them do it. And then my offer helps them take this process, right? PPP model, triple P, person, problem, process. I need to know with absolute clarity who you help, what problem you help them solve, and the process in which you use to do it. If you can answer those 3 questions quickly, concisely, and without hesitation, now you can actually go, oh, well, how do we grow this business? Oh, well, how do we get customers? Oh, well, how do we market? But so if you can't answer that, like we're shooting, we're literally walking into a wall with a blindfold on, smacking our heads against the wall over and over.
I hear you.
So let's start there. Tell me those 3 P's.
Okay, so the person who I want to serve are experienced coaches, experts, and service providers.
Yes. So that right there is a mildly defined audience, but continue.
Just to be concrete with it, is they are like 35, 45 old entrepreneurs who are successful in their expertise, but they know their marketing is chaotic and manual.
And what's the problem you help them solve?
Experts are trapped in manual marketing systems that prevent them from achieving true freedom and skill.
Too vague, way too vague. My email open rates suck. That is a problem. I have somebody that I've worked with in the past. Her name's Kristen. She charges $30,000 for an email deliverability program. She literally takes you on, fixes your email deliverability, sets everything up, sets you up with a dedicated server, $30,000 each, right? Her person is companies that market through email. Her problem is my open rates suck. So my email marketing is not producing sales. Duh. And her process is she increases your domain reputation so that the problem disappears. Now, this is a person who barely, like, she doesn't do a lot of marketing. She just goes and speaks here and there at events, and that's it. And she does very well. Well, why? It's not because she has great marketing. It's not because she's pushing out tons of content. She doesn't push out tons of content. I don't even think she spends money on ads. But she has such a clearly defined person, problem, and process that when she does market, when she does open her mouth and say, this is what I do, people get it so clearly that they just buy, okay? And I know several people who have bought from her without hesitation because they're so clear on what she sells. You got to get clear on what you sell. This is the biggest problem that faces any online business owner today, is they think that it's about ads and marketing, and they obsess so much over, I got to get my ad costs down. I got to make this. But no, it starts with the root problem. The root problem is you don't know who you serve, what problem you help them solve, and the process, or the problem you help them solve is not a good problem, or the process is not a believable process, or the person is not a person that would invest in that. All 3 of those things have to be aligned. So right now you're saying coaches that make 100 grand a month or more, or service providers, terrible market, small market. Okay. Then next, the problem you help them solve. Let's try it again. How many existing clients do you have?
Right now, I have exactly 9 clients. At
9 clients.
Moment.
All right. I'm going to help you figure out your person, problem, and process right now. All right. Because I'm going to be honest with you. You don't know it. So I'm going to help you find it. Okay. So of those 9 people, how many are coaches?
6. 6 are coaches.
6 are coaches. What are the other 3?
One is a e-com guy. The other one is, that's also a coach because she trains dogs.
What is the one commonality between all of those clients?
They all want to increase their sales.
What I'm saying is they all send a lot of email. They all spend at least $10,000 a month on ads. They all have Instagram as a main promotion channel. Forget what they do. Tell me the common factor between them.
To be honest, is that they don't have any marketing strategy.
Nobody has a marketing strategy. You don't have a marketing strategy.
They don't.
What is the commonality in their business models?
They all want to, how do you say that? From manual go to online business.
Okay, what's the biggest shift you've made in each business?
The biggest shift is that they went from like or 5 figures to 6, or
That's the
from 6
biggest,
to
that's the
7.
result. How did you get the result?
Yeah.
Like, what is the
So
main thing you did across the board that got that result?
get them automation with AI.
Automation with AI, that doesn't tell me anything. Are these
Mhm.
emails, like what, like workflows?
I
Like,
set
what are
up
you talking about?
I create a framework for them where they can set up their emails and funnels. That's what I do.
Bro, you're about as clear as Kamala Harris on foreign policy. Okay. Let's make
Mhm.
this childlike simple. Okay.
Mhm.
If I ask you, look, see this right here?
Yeah.
If so, you're saying you get them from 6 to 7 figures. Is that basically the result?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So look, 6, 7, right? So here you
Yeah.
have 6, here you have 7. So you
Mhm.
started here and you
Mhm.
ended here, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something in the middle here that they did not
Mhm.
have, that you
Yeah.
made for them. Something
Yeah.
tangible, not strategy or framework
I
or
hear
any of
you.
that
I hear you.
vague nonsense. It's, oh, I wrote them an email sequence. What is this? What is the bridge between 6 and 7 figures that you have consistently created? What is
Yeah.
this path to success?
The path is to. I have 10 steps
How do you
in
not
which I
know
bring
this,
them.
bro?
Yeah.
That's
No,
like,
but
if,
what
okay, I
what
want you to
like.
imagine for a moment, I'm a personal trainer and I've got 10
Yeah.
clients that I've got shredded.
Mm.
And you ask me,
Mm.
hey, personal trainer, man, what is the number one thing you did across the board for the clients? Now, I would probably say something like, I fixed their diet, or I showed them meal timing. Like, for instance, I one time got really lean from a trainer who basically said, look, you don't have to cut out carbs. You just have to eat carbs at the right time. And he taught me that instead of eating carbs randomly, I ate carbs right before
Okay,
or right after my workout.
I know. Yeah. So
Okay, so see
sometimes,
how specific that is?
yeah, yeah. I understand because like I said, sometimes I translate things in my mind because in Dutch I would say it like one time. But what I do is I create follow-up systems that are backed with AI. That's what I do.
Okay, are we talking email, SMS? Like, you got to be specific.
It is WhatsApp follow-up.
WhatsApp. Okay, see, I would have never.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah,
problem. I would have never guessed that. I would have
Yeah.
never in my life.
Mm.
I'm thinking you're talking about email. I didn't even think about WhatsApp. Okay, especially if you're talking about the English market, because people who live in America, I don't even think they have WhatsApp, right? So I didn't even think of that. All right. So tell me now, what is the path to success? What got them from 6 to 7 figures? And I want you to talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. When they
Yeah.
sign up, they
When
get a
they sign
WhatsApp
up.
message. And then when they get the WhatsApp message, it says this. And then on
exactly gonna
WhatsApp,
do that.
it does
Yes,
that.
yes.
Like,
yes,
tell me
yes.
exactly, like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
head injury,
Yeah.
what you do, bro.
All right. So let me tell you, when they sign up, when they onboard, they get from me a Trello board with 10 phases. That's what they get. In the first 2 phases, we are working on the.
Okay. All right. I don't need your onboarding process. I do not care whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know what the you do for them. Like, holy
Yeah.
if this was a sales call, my ass would be in friggin' Mexico by now. I'd be
Yeah,
gone.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Tell me what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. So what I do is I give them a GHL with how do you say that?
So you set them up a white label Go High Level account.
Yes, a Go High Level account with AI automation or how do you say that?
What's that? So they basically don't have a lot of marketing strategy. They're making sales, but they're really not taking advantage of follow-up, which is 70% of sales, which I would make a key metric, a key statistic you talk about in your marketing.
Yes.
And what you do is you set them up with a Go High Level account, probably under your agency, and you set up some workflows that follow up with clients, mainly through WhatsApp, right?
Mainly, yeah.
Okay, what makes WhatsApp so special?
Especially in the Netherlands, is that when they follow up on WhatsApp, it's more personalized. And the opening rate is way higher. Like, it's 80 to 90%, the opening rate. And on email, it's like 25. Plus, the issue that they have is that it lands into promotions or spam. So people don't even see it, which make that they won't come to their webinars and all this kind of stuff. And that's why we need just hectic.
I have an entire pitch for this already in my head, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I want you to understand something. I'm going to be very direct with you. It literally just took me 25 minutes or however long to figure out what you do, when you could have said, hey, Dan, my clients are coaches. They're not following up. They're not taking advantage of follow-up. So I create them a GHL sub account create follow-up workflows, but namely with WhatsApp, so that they get much higher open rates rather than email. And that's what gets them more sales. Now that I just took 25 minutes and I condensed it into 25 seconds. Okay. That's what you do. Now, the main core issue here is that when asked what you do, it takes you 25 minutes to explain it rather than 25, or really should be more like 10 seconds. And until you solve that, you're not going to solve any other problem in your business, especially when it comes to marketing, because clarity beats complexity. Clarity beats fancy. Clarity beats emotional. Like you need an emotional angles and analogies and all these things to have great marketing. But if you don't have clarity, all those things become sour. It's like planting amazing seeds. Like you could get the best seeds for a tomato seed in the world. It could be like the most expensive, most boutique tomato seed in the world. And you want to grow amazing tomato plants, and then you plant it in crap soil. It doesn't matter how good the seed is. The soil ruins it. The soil is your clarity. Okay. How many hours per week are you actually working in your business versus on it?
In my business, let us say around 7, 8.
7 to 8 hours a day or a week?
A day.
A day. So a full work day. Okay.
Yeah, full work day.
So when do you work on your business?
Like in the meanwhile, I'm working on the business, creating videos for the clients,
working in the business.
etc.
Working on the business. Let me tell you the difference between working on the business, working in the business. Working in the business is where you basically do the work of staff. You do videos, you do fulfillment, you do sales calls. Working on the business is where you sit down and you think of major strategic shifts that you can make, 30,000-foot view stuff that fundamentally and drastically change the course and the results in your business. That's working on your business versus just doing busy work in your business. Like for instance, right now I'm recording a video for YouTube. That's working in the business. However, me coming up with an idea for a new offer to sell, that's working on the business.
If I look at that, especially the last couple of days, weeks, I mean, I've worked more on the business to get a new way to go into the English market. That's why I work specifically on the last couple of days.
No, the total amount of hours you've worked all together on coming up with a way to market to the English.
Right now, 40.
40 hours, and you can't tell me what you do. That's
No, what I mean is, like I said, the English for me to translate it.
But no. Don't give me that translation, bro. I've been married to a foreign woman for 12 years. Don't give me that. I know that trick. Okay. You know damn well
really,
you could have said, I have a GHL account that I create for them. And I set them up in automation through WhatsApp so they get very high open rates. Don't give me that. English is not my first language. Okay. I'm watching you, fucker. Okay. Okay. What takes up the most amount of your time each day?
It's communicating with my staff and also with the clients. That's taking me the most time.
Why are you communicating with clients? Why don't you have an account manager? Bro, you don't need to be talking to clients. Look, you're in my mastermind. So I talk to you when we do this kickoff call, because you got it as a bonus. And when we do the weekly calls, but like we don't talk outside of that. You would talk to Carla. You would talk to Carla, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I would not be able to serve you. I would not be able to do what I do for you. I would not be as good as I am. I would not be able to even get you as a client at the rate I am. Because look, why do you work with me? You work with me because I've consistently demonstrated that I win in one of the toughest markets and I help other people win. I would not be able to have those wins if I had even a second of my day taken up with basic customer service. That's insane. All right. I need space to work on and in my business. I can't be talking to clients, hey, here's your password, or make sure you book this time. Like, I'm not going to do that. I refuse, because I know that in order to get you the best results, I need that time and space to do what I do. You need to have an account manager. Okay. You should not be talking to clients unless it is direct fulfillment that they pay for. You get me?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, pick a better market than freaking coaches. I'm not saying that you can't. I just don't like that market. I would stray away from that market at all cost. All right. Also, you're going to have a problem in the English market because nobody uses WhatsApp in America. Obviously, I live in Dubai, everything is WhatsApp, but nobody uses that in America unless they're foreign. Now, That's not to say that you can't just replace that with SMS, because everybody
Yeah,
uses text
I can
in
do it.
America. So that's fine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Also, I really want you to define one business type. The advantage you have here is you're just starting in the English market, right?
Yeah.
So we want to do one business type. Now, if you want to go after info product people, if you want to go after coaches, but you know what's really, really intriguing me is this e-commerce company, okay?
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
thing about e-commerce companies is
I hear
there's a
you.
lot of them.
Yeah.
And they do spend, because look, think about it this way. If I'm a coach,
Mm.
theoretically, I can conduct my business without spending pretty much anything on anything. I mean, I can literally go start a Facebook page tomorrow, say I'm a coach, and I can actually enter that market without much friction. And the problem with the coaching market, and I'm not saying this in becoming a coach, you can make a lot of money becoming a coach, but serving coaches, the problem with this market is that they don't have any skin in the game. That's why they freak out all the time and
I hear you.
spaz and change ideas because there's no skin in the game. But when you are an e-com, there's a bit more skin. Now, if you do drop shipping, maybe not so much, but if you like your e-commerce client, does he do drop shipping?
Look, my former company was I had it with one famous guy here in the Netherlands. He's living in Dubai right now as well. A lot of guys that I know in the I have a whole network in e-commerce. So I know what you're saying. 100%. E-com is a really, really great market.
So why don't you just work with e-com?
Yeah, I can.
I would, bro. If you put a gun to my head and said, do AI automation for e-com companies versus coaches, bro, all day long, e-com. What do you charge?
I charge $5K
per month or one time?
One time.
Yeah, dude, that's a great price point for setting all this up. Give me the specifics on the e-com client. What did you do for them? Did you just set them up with AI follow-up over WhatsApp?
No. What I did is, instead of using Shopify, I created a funnel. So what you know how Shopify works is all these pages and this, that. Now he has a funnel. And
okay, so I already know what you're going to say. He was on Shopify. His conversion rate was low. You created him an actual funnel. You increased his conversion rate.
Yeah.
Okay, what's easier for you? And did you do any of this AI automation, or did you just create him a funnel?
Funnel. I didn't even do the whole AI part.
How much did you charge him?
$5K.
Easy sale?
Easy sale. By the way, I did that. His sale was through IGDM automation, because I have a tool that just sent DMs to people, and then I closed him in organically with DM, like within the DM.
Okay, I'm gonna show you how to go viral on Instagram so you can get more of those DM conversations started. We'll cover that in a minute. I want you to take a hard look at what you've been doing and realize that you only need to pick one thing and one market to hit $1 million with this thing. And if I were you, I would do e-commerce companies. And I really like this idea of creating them a funnel rather than their standard Shopify store. I imagine you have a process for that. Probably something like, let me identify your number one product. Like, here's how I might pitch this. I might say, like, listen, right now you have a Shopify store and you're not making as much money as you'd like. Why? Because Shopify is just a basic online store with low conversion rates. However, you need what I call a spearhead funnel. What's a spearhead funnel? It is your top product, your most profitable product that we can build a spearhead around. We penetrate the market with this product, getting people into your world, on your email list, and buying more products from you as time goes by. And so instead of taking that spearhead product, that one product that gets people to become a customer and just randomly putting it on your Shopify store and hoping people find it, no, we create a dedicated, high converting, fully optimized funnel for that one product. We market that. You're going to get double, triple, maybe even quadruple conversion rates to that spearhead product. And then they're going to go on your email list. Now they've already bought from you. They already trust you. So now when they get an email that goes to a Shopify store with random products, it'll actually convert better because they're already a customer. But to get that customer, that's the hardest part. That's going to be what takes your business to the next level, acquiring new e-commerce customers at a very good cost. And in order to do that, you need three things. You need a spearhead product. You need a dedicated funnel for that spearhead product. And you need a follow-up sequence to get people to buy more products. And then from here, you have your call to action, right? Book a call, and here's what we're going to do. We're gonna identify your spearhead product on the call. We're going to find out what is that spearhead product, and then we'll explain to you how we can do the other two parts of the process for you, or however you want to pitch it, right? So this is a marketing message. You're basing your message, you're basing your brand around one core concept, right?
Yeah.
Like Cody Sanchez, her whole thing is buy boring businesses. It's a big idea for her whole brand. Buy boring businesses, buy laundromats, right? Yours is find your spearhead product, or you could call it something different, your penetration product. One of your products will penetrate the market. Once the market is penetrated, now they're going to buy more stuff quite easily. And you can do visual metaphors too. You could take like a butter knife and you can push it into something and say, hey, look how hard it is to penetrate this. But when I take this knife with a point, I can easily penetrate and get the rest of the knife in. You need the same thing with your e-commerce store. You need a penetration product. You need a product that will penetrate the market, making new customers come to you constantly so then they can buy your other stuff. Now, you could take this same little strategy here and do it for the AI automation, you know?
Yeah.
But email open rates on average are this. What happens if you could get follow-ups that were at 80 to 90%? What would that do for your business? Like, we can pitch this. We can pitch either one of these. My thing is, if you go into the coaching market, I really think that that's a bad market. You'll have more sustainability in the e-com market. And look, you can still offer that AI automation. You can still say, like, look, what happens if they got text reminding them to buy a product? You know, like, for instance, like, how many e-commerce owners realize that you can do abandoned cart on e-com products and you can do it through SMS?
A lot. Like, not if you don't know it, then you're not really my customer. I mean, that's
What do you
crazy.
mean if you do? Why would you say that?
No, what I mean is the people, because you need to educate them about the whole process of
No, I
abandonment
think you're
cart.
thinking about this wrong. You're thinking about this wrong, right? If they don't know that, and you say, hey, did you know that every time somebody starts to check out at your store, but then doesn't, you can actually market to these people. You can send them a text and say, hey, you forgot to check out. Did you know that? No, I didn't know that. And then the magic phrase happens next. Do you know what the magic phrase is? The magic question?
What do I need to do in order to do that?
How do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I do that? Look, if you can create a message, marketing, and content that consistently makes people say, oh, wow, how do I do that? Well, now you have completely set yourself up. You've teed yourself up to say, well, how about I just do it for you for a fee? If there's one piece of advice I could give to anybody in terms of marketing, it's create content that constantly shows people things they didn't know exist and then offer to do it for them.
Yeah, that's what I did most of the time in the Netherlands.
Shocking.
Just show them like, hey, listen, this is what you need to do. And they were shocked. And then boom, I said, okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you where you're going to have trouble. Okay. You are very smart. I can tell. You know marketing, you know tech automations, you have a lot of skills. The problem is that you are smart and talented and have a lot of skills.
I know. That's the problem. Biggest issue.
So what you're going to do is you're going to try to use all of them. And when you use all of them, it becomes clouded. Now, an analogy that I use to try to sink this into people's head is if I said, Orlando, listen, you're going to go into your kitchen and you're going to make spaghetti and meatballs. Would you go into the kitchen and would you grab meat, noodles, and red sauce? Or would you go into your kitchen and grab that plus chocolate, plus bananas, plus peanut butter, plus sugar, plus soy sauce? Like, would you grab all that stuff and put it in a bowl, or would you just grab the noodles, the meat, and the tomato sauce?
Noodles, meat, and tomato sauce.
Why? Because in order to make spaghetti and meatballs, you need meat, noodles, and tomato sauce, right? What most people do is they have this kitchen that has all these ingredients. The ingredients are your skills, what you can do, your talent, etc. And instead of saying, well, here's the meal I want to make, here's the product I want to sell, so I'm going to just grab from my cupboard of life, my cupboard of skills, what I need to make that meal. Instead, I want to grab everything. Now, if you grabbed everything and you put it in a bowl, how good would that dish taste?
Of course, disgusting if you do everything.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is why so many people who are so talented, who have so many skills, create shitty, disgusting offers and businesses. It's not that you don't have the talent, it's that you're putting all of them in one bowl. And when you do that, it tastes disgusting. You need to have the discipline to pick just the things you need to sell the product or make the meal that you need to make. And that is when you can actually get the most out of those skills, when you have the discipline to only use the ones you need. So your biggest problem right now is not like you know how to do all this stuff. Your biggest problem is choosing who you serve, the problem you help them solve, and the process in which you do it. And when you can choose that and clearly define that and communicate that, well, then you can take all the skills that you already have and it's effortless. I don't need to teach you how to do marketing and DM automation and all that. I need to simply teach you what market to choose and what problem to solve.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So
Get what I'm saying?
already, yeah, for the e-commerce, I already have everything set up. Like if I need to go into e-commerce, super simple.
All right. So going back to your funnel, this obviously does not attract this market. So let's do a little exercise here. If I wanted to attract e-commerce owners who want to scale their business and basically improve their conversion rates and grow more customers, what would this headline be?
Let me take the guy that I'm surfing right now, right? What triggered him to work with me was that I showed him the difference between the Shopify store and revenue and e-com revenue. That was his trigger. Like, oh, I see that
I got
this
it.
is.
Does your e-commerce store have low conversion rates? That's the first part of the headline. The next part is watch this case study on how we got result, whatever that result is, using mini stores or micro stores. Okay. So give me an example of the result that your e-commerce client got when you created this micro store for him.
2% to 10% conversion.
2% to 10% conversion. Now I'm going to teach you something about copy. Okay.
Yeah.
There's 10 ways to say the same thing. One of those ways is going to sound the best. So you just said that we went from 2% to 10% conversion rate. What did that mean in money? We went from X money to X money. What does it mean in money?
Money-wise, it was from a 2,000 to a 10,000 a month. 2,000
to 10,000 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
If we compare, hey, let me show you how we can increase the conversion rate of this e-commerce store from 2% to 10% versus, hey, let me show you how we increased the monthly revenue of this e-commerce store from 10,000 to 20,000, because that would be the result, right? Which one do you think sounds better?
The one with money, of course.
No, I don't think the one with money sounds better. Ultimately, you're saying 20,000 a month, which is not that much.
Yeah, because we have another client where we did, he did 70, and then after the funnel, he did 120.
Okay, but even then, like to me, I like 2% to 10% because let's say I'm doing 200 grand.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I hear you. It doesn't matter.
See, if I'm doing 200 grand a month and I see that, I'm like, well, shoot, I could do.
It doesn't matter.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here's what I would do for this headline, because the headline is like 80% of your success here. Like all this stuff back down here doesn't really mean anything. What means everything is this. Also, I don't know why people do this. Half the page is taken up by your freaking logo. And then you're like, for driven entrepreneurs. Oh, that's super market defining. Yeah, for driven entrepreneur. That's like saying I want to target women, and you're like, for people with a vagina. Like, how about for new moms? Or how about for overworked career women? Or how about for single moms who struggle with love? Like you gotta be clear for driven entrepreneurs, right? Like lazy copy. Okay. So I would say for e-commerce store owners who want higher conversion rates, and then for the headline, I would say something like, watch the case study. Yeah, case study how we increased conversion rate from 2% to 10% using micro stores. Okay. So let me just break this down for you right here. For e-commerce store owners who want higher conversion rates, headline, case study, how we went from 2% to 10% conversion rates using micro stores. And then this little sub headline right here can be learn how to create micro stores in addition to your main Shopify store that can increase your conversion rate from 2% to 10% and ultimately add hundreds of thousands of dollars or more per month to your e-commerce business. How much more clear is that to this stuck in your current business model? Escape, transform. So which one is more clear?
Of course, the one that we created. That's why I'm here.
Right, exactly. Me too.
Don't you think that in the e-com world, everybody in right now is getting triggered when it has something with AI?
Sure. Okay. So call it micro AI stores. Think about it this way, right? You create the funnel with the spearhead product or the penetration product, right? Well, what you still have to get them from, hey, I bought this product to I'm going to buy more products.
Yes.
Well, how do you do that? You create an AI automation that does that. Okay. So when you explain all that in your presentation, because that's what you're going to do here. You're going to do a presentation. That's how I built every multi-million-dollar company I've ever built.
Absolutely.
A single presentation.
Absolutely.
That's what you're going to explain. You're going to explain the path to success, right?
Yeah.
Here's your path from 2% to 10%, from low conversion rates to insane conversion rates. Here's your path to success. Then at the end of that presentation, hey, you want us to build the store for you and the AI automation? Book a call or however you want to handle it. Okay. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
That's it, bro.
I'm good. I'm ready, man. You know, I'm in the starting blocks. Like, this is what I needed. You know, the monkey brain that goes all over the place, just to be concise and just stick with one thing. And that will make me the person that I need to become for my family. Thank you.